If you're willing to do the work, you can have anything. That's what makes the US of A great.
You work hard, and what does life serve you? A shame sandwich with a side order of shit. Don't be a don'ter. Do be a doer. I had a wife, 2 beautiful daughters. Thank God I left her. Now I'm with 7 honeys, of which I can choose from.
Oh my God, this guy understands me.
I'm laughing because this movie just reminds me so much of us.
It doesn't really. I hope not.
No,
Well, in the sense that some people are so dumb they succeed at despite themselves.
No, okay,
no, I'm thinking more that you got 3 dumb motherfuckers who try to commit a crime and do the most stupidest things that could get them caught ever. And that would be us if we committed a crime.
True. Although they do get away with it for a lot longer than you would expect.
And
Well-
see, that's the thing. We would get away with it less.
Well, to be fair, I'd probably get away with it the most because I'm the white guy.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. you probably get away with it completely.
Yeah, seriously. Your Honor, I had a bad childhood. My parents sent me to public school. There was black people everywhere.
What? No, you wouldn't even have to go that far. See, that's what I'm talking about. You fucking up already. All you have to do is get up and say, those niggas did it.
Yeah, they made me do it.
They made me do it. They said they cut off my little penis.
Officer, they kidnapped me. And they made me do it. You know how them black guys are. I was scared for my life. They said they'd make me eat chitlins if I didn't do it.
Have you ever had chitlins? Do you even know what chitlins are?
Your Honor, have you ever smelled chitlins before?
They dangled pickled pig's feet in front of me. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Wow, you guys done with your racial stereotypes?
With our racism, yeah.
Well, only in the sense that if I was the white kid on the stand trying to get out of it, I'd pull every last one.
I know.
Yeah, Cyrus, good white folks like you and I would get through with this. But co-host and Leon right here, they would go straight to jail, man. But man, I gotta laugh at the premise of this movie.
I did too. Actually, even from the trailer, I was like, as much as I hate Michael Bay, this looks interesting, and I really want to see it, especially if it's about a bunch of dumb muscleheads. I think they can pull a crime, and it's dark, but it's funny. And sure enough, if it wasn't everything that I thought it would be,
think about it. You got 3 muscle-bound, roided up guys trying to commit a crime, not knowing what the fuck they're doing. I mean, it's just enough for them to think that they start out with like most Michael Bay movies. They start out with a good premise. They almost like they get a good plan, and they actually work through it in ways that a smart career criminal would, but they just make some of the dumbest mistakes in the process.
Actually, no, I don't think they have a smart plan ever.
I don't think it's a terrible plan.
Every step of this plan made no sense. I mean, even like to the point where Mark Wahlberg, it only made sense to the 2 guys who were dumber than him, and even his backup, his reason for it was like, no, I've watched a lot of movies. I know how to do this.
Yeah. See? You see how I'll be fucking up already?
Seriously, that would be us. See right there.
Because I'll talk you into it.
Bay's actual clever idea behind making this was, I can't believe nobody had done this yet, really, because we read News of the Weird all the time, and the Darwin Awards. The only time anybody makes a heist movie, it's always really smart people who either narrowly get away with it or narrowly get caught. Where's the movies for all the dumbasses? Those stories are better.
They are the better stories.
Yeah.
Seriously, people, I don't care what you say. Yes, this is a Michael Bay movie, but this is based on a case that is based on some of the dumbest mistakes that you can make.
The funny thing is, it's a Florida case. And as Florida crime cases go, this is probably not even in the top 10 of most bizarre.
Oh yeah, Florida. Wow, weird shit goes down in that state.
Well, you watch the news, you don't even look. Just like you hear something so bizarre, you go, the fuck? And it's like, it's Florida. And Miami-Dade, it's like, yep, Florida.
Well, in Florida, every month somebody's getting eaten by another human being. I mean, Florida is ground zero for zombieism about to happen. I mean, that's where the guy had his face eaten.
Yeah.
That's where some woman tried to get eaten up by somebody else. I mean,
every time.
Yeah. It's always something stupid going on in Florida. And I'm sorry if you live in Florida, but y'all are stupid there.
Well, I mean, and not just stupid, but weird. Just
I wouldn't say stupid, just odd.
There's even a point in this film where it has to remind the audience this is all still true. Because you're at that point, you're like, oh, bullshit.
I know. Yeah, it does reach that bizarre point where you go like, all right, they're making shit up.
No.
It's like, oh, it's true.
The movie actually tells you
and it
this
Florida,
is true.
So it probably is.
This movie is just it's a smidgen over 2 hours, and they wait for about an hour and 45 minutes to tell you, just in case you see these stupid motherfuckers, you think we're exaggerating. No, this is based on a true story, and what we're telling you is not too far from the truth. What you have here is that this is based on the Sun Gym game.
Right.
Sun Gym as in a gym where you go work out. Because these guys, Mark Wahlberg plays Daniel Lugo, and his partners in crime, Dwayne Johnson plays Paul Doyle, and Anthony Mackie is Adrian Doorbal, and they bring in some Russian chick who what was that? What's that? The actress's name?
I don't know. It's my first time to see her.
Yeah, some hot Par Bailey.
Okay.
And they decide that Mark Wahlberg is saying, you know what, man,
he's a doer.
Yeah, the first mistake he does is that he goes to one of these inspirational speakers.
I forgot because it's was Kim Jong playing the character, but he's like those
Johnny Woo.
Yeah, but back in the 90s there was like Tom Vu who would have those infomercials that would come on. He spoke in broken English and he'd be on a boat with all these white girls in bikinis trying to sell his no money down real estate and saying like, why can't you do this? Look at I have this boat, I have all these babes, and you sit on your couch. Why can't you do that?
Look at my bitches.
Yeah. Look at my riches.
I love it. He's like, I came to this country, I had nothing, and I built up, and I had a wife and a family. I got rid of that shit. Now I got 7 bitches.
But I remember those commercials vividly.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I used to laugh at them all the time.
I know, you tried to give me the tapes one time. I was like, Leon, I don't want to listen to this shit.
This may change my life, Corey.
Well, the real way you made money was selling those tapes to other people.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't buy. In fact, I talked you out of doing some stupid shit like this. Hey, let's go rob my boss, Corey. No, man, are you dumb?
I am your boss. Fuck.
Yeah, he pulls a gun on me right then and there.
Don't give away our plot.
I didn't think this through.
Don't worry. I hope you will rob me, because you dumb motherfuckers will fuck up before you even get near my house.
Well, we would also discover that you don't have any money.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I ain't got shit for you here.
Take your peanuts collection.
No, not the peanuts. If you want Gumby back, you better fork over $1 million.
But you know what? So Mark Wahlberg, the character he plays, which is based on a real life guy, he says, man, you know what? I want to live the American dream. I went to see Johnny Woo. He told me I'm a doer. He told me I can achieve anything if I put my mind to it. So he decides that the doer thing that he wants to do here, the thing that he wants to do to achieve his dream is to rob one of his clients.
Yeah, he's got to
come to his gym.
He's got a 3-point plan. And the plan is to find somebody with money, which is Tony Shalhoub, take his money, and leave him with nothing.
Well, that's 4 points. There's question mark, profit.
And that's where he makes a mistake, because it's not enough. His client is Victor Kershaw, played by Tony Shalhoub, is a guy who he runs a Schlotsky sandwich shop, and he has a bunch of other things that he does. The guy's an asshole, and the guy's bragging the whole time about how much he has. And so Mark Wahlberg gets pissed off. He's like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing. He said, you know what? Not only am I going to devise this plan, I'm going to rob you, but I want to humiliate you. I want everything you got.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not so much me getting rich, it's me just taking everything and leaving you with nothing.
Right.
And he gets 2 knuckleheads involved with him, and
serious knuckleheads.
Yes, major knuckleheads. And then he decides to go through with this plan, which at first kind of works out. I mean, it works so well.
Despite themselves.
Despite, that's the thing. Yeah. They devised a plan that is so...
Don't they have to do, they take 3 tries to even get it off the ground?
But you see, the thing is, Leon, you're missing the point. Like, you're right. Cyrus, you're exactly right. They make up a plan that, despite themselves, it is so dumb that the police say, that fucking would never happen. Because their plan is, we're going to dress up like ninjas and kidnap you. And it gets so deep that they say, we're going to, and it's based on a true story, people, so I'm not really spoiling anything, but in the true story, they try to do everything to kill this guy, including running over him several times. And the guy survives in real life. He lives through this.
Yeah, they poison him with alcohol and make him drive his car into a brick wall, then set it on fire. Well, blow it up, set him on fire, and then run over him. And somehow he still lives.
And he still lives through it. And
just because they're such idiots at even doing that much.
Now imagine when the cops, you wake up in the hospital and the cops say, okay, sir, what happened? three ninjas,
three bodybuilders dressed as ninjas.
Three bodybuilders dressed as ninjas kidnapped me and ran me over 3 times with a car. Well, sir, you had alcohol. Oh yeah, they made me drink too and made me run into a wall.
Like, how stupid is the plan? Like, what criminal would really think it would stick of having him sign over all his personal possessions? Like, going, oh, you need to sign all this stuff. So Schlotsky's belong to me. Your car belongs to me. Your house. Who would actually think that would work? And they're like, that's retarded. There's no way.
And it's your signature, because they did this whole thing where they tortured him so much that they made him sign over everything he owned. So they bring all this stuff in and say, this is your signature. You were drinking, you were driving, you ran to a wall. I mean, come on, get the fuck out of here.
Well, the next level of retardation in that is like, okay, now you sign your house over to me. I'm going to live in it and just be a neighbor to everybody else and act like nothing happened.
And not only be a neighbor, but I'm going to have neighborhood watch meetings.
It's like the intellect version of retard strength, almost.
Yeah, they go to the house, somebody's living in your house and everything. It's like, come on, man, really. And on top of that, you're a complete asshole. Nobody likes you.
Well, that's the funny thing. I thought that was a great thing to add to this. Is like, normally you'd feel so sorry for Tony Shalhoub's character that all this happened to him. Nobody believed him, but he's such an asshole. You can see why people are just like, I don't even want to deal with you.
Well,
I don't care if you get your stuff
what's
back.
fun as well is that you're not really rooting for them either. I mean, they're such absolute morons. I mean, even Mark Wahlberg, who is certainly supposed to be the smartest of the
he's
three. Yeah, he's Mo. Exactly, his whole thing comes from like, look at me. Look what a beautiful body I have. I'm an Adonis. I deserve the stuff that this guy who refuses to even work out properly. Yes, that's his whole like mantra. That's his way of looking at the universe. You're like, well, like, and then the Dwayne Johnson who like got out of prison and has turned hardcore into a Jesus freak. It's like they have to tell this guy barely anything to twist his understanding of Christianity so that he'll do what they want him to do.
Anthony Mackie's doing everything just because he's got a little dick that can't get a hard on. So.
Yeah, he's done so much steroids that he has to pay for expensive treatments just to get an erection. You're like, that's his reasoning. Yeah, there's nothing really to root for these guys except just like marveling at the degree of their own incompetence and how they just stumble into success.
Where is he? He was right here. Where'd he go? You see him?
Where the hell is he?
There he is.
You got the wrong BMW?
Two exact BMWs.
I told you to check the license plate.
It was an honest mistake.
So we thought it was the same car. It looked exactly the same.
I can deal with his impotence. I cannot deal with your incompetence.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this movie is that you know us people. We say, yeah, we might not like a certain actor. We might not like a certain director. We might not like a certain screenwriter, but if they do something good,
you got to give them the props.
Look, we have no bias or vendetta or grudge against anybody. And you've heard us talk for many years shit about Michael Bay, and this movie does have Michael Bay problems in it, but this story is so insane that it fits Michael Bay's insane style of directing.
Well, even outside of that, I was shocked at the end where it says like written by Michael Bay, because I really liked the writing. I was laughing constantly through the movie.
Oh, it had so many good lines in it.
It did.
Oh my God, there's all these great moments. We were both, Leo and I were dying at points, laughing at some of the stuff, like the Dwayne Johnson going like, Jesus gave me special gifts, and one of them is to knock you the fuck out.
Or the part when Tony Shalhoub actually starts talking shit, and Mark Wahlberg is cool. He's rolling along with it, but then Tony Shalhoub says something about pectoral muscles, and Mark Wahlberg loses shit. What did you say about pecs? What the fuck did you say about pecs? and it's funny because Mark Wahlberg, listen, there's a controversy about this movie. I don't know if I have the details fully understood, but the guy who survived, Victor Kershaw, I think he wrote a book about this, and he's actually out there talking to people saying, this shouldn't be a movie that you should go see. I almost died. These guys want to kill me. He's like, and his biggest complaint was, he said, I don't like it that you made me look like an asshole, and you make these guys look like fun-loving, likable criminals. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, there is nothing likable about these guys at all. I said, from the moment these guys are so heinous. I mean, in addition to their stupidity, they're just so cold in this crime.
And shallow.
Yeah, and the only thing that made me like these characters in even the slightest bit is that I laughed at how stupid they were.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're supposed to, too. Yeah. That's the intent here. Obviously, this is a comedy flat out.
A dark
it's like,
comedy.
It's a dark comedy, but like it's not even really an action comedy. There's action, but that's not the focus here. It's just how absurdly stupid these guys are. And Bay, just pure distilled Michael Bay, like put out on a screen, and then Bay looks at it and goes, wow, am I really that shallow? Well, time to be honest. And like makes fun of himself for 2 hours and some minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun to watch him be that self-aware, I think.
No, it's a movie where the story or the script, and Michael Bay wasn't the only one that wrote it. They had a script doctor. The guy who actually came in and did some doctoring on Armageddon came in and did this, and they had 2 other script writers on it.
That's even more amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the story's right there. Shit, how much rewriting do you got to do?
Well,
Even Broken Clock is right twice a day.
Unless it's digital. But it's not just like the plot itself. That's bizarre, and it's based on real life, and so that's what you got. But it's what comes out of each character's mouth that makes it, and also really good performances from everybody, especially The Rock.
Yeah.
He was my favorite actor in the whole thing. His character shows so much range from being a Jesus freak to being a cokehead to where I was like, man, bravo. You get the right material. That guy's awesome.
He's so funny if he's given funny material. Like, we see him in all these Disney type comedy things, and we're like, this isn't funny not because he's not trying. He's given it his all, but it's awful material. Here, it's actual funny stuff for him to do, and he's a riot. He kills during this thing.
Oh, yeah. No, there's points where he's all coked up.
When he was coked up, I couldn't stop laughing every time he was on screen.
And it's funny to watch because, I mean, they tell you in the movie, this is the weakest link, but you can see this guy fucking up, and you're like, yeah, he's going to be the one to fuck up everybody in this movie.
Well, the film actually tells you that on screen with text.
Well, that's what I said.
There's a lot of freeze frame where it gives you little bits of info, and that's like the weak link.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's what they told you that, but we figured that out an hour before we even got to that point.
Honestly, like the minute they start talking or doing things, they all fuck this up.
Yeah.
Even there's a point where it's like, wow, you kind of got away with it, but you won't let that go.
And it's so funny because I always complain about slow motion in Michael Bay movies, but they slow-mo things to tell you exactly where they fucked up.
Yeah.
See this evidence right here? In case you missed it, we're going to slow it down so you can catch it. But see, I think this could be, I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's a very good movie. I think it's fun, but Michael Bay is what keeps it from, in my opinion, being a great movie.
Now, I'm curious about that because when you guys say it's very Michael Bay, like it doesn't. It's not how I think of Michael Bay.
Well, it's not very Michael Bay in the sense of like, here's the action movies he usually tells, but all the trappings that he always shoves into his action films, like lots of ridiculously hot girls in situations. Well, why is there even a ridiculously hot girl there?
Well,
Miami. Strippers and drugs and bright colors.
Once again, Miami.
But it's not even that. I mean, for me, the biggest problem is that Michael Bay cannot help turning his movies into cartoons at a certain point.
Oh.
I mean, with certain, because things.
Well, but this is a cartoon from the beginning.
I was going to say, this almost works to its strength.
I think that if they, no. See, because there are certain characters that are so exaggerated, that do so exaggerated things, that is the Michael Bay that I know from Transformers. It's the equivalent of John Turturro pulling his pants down and doing.
I mean, and look, if that's how you felt about it, I won't take that away. But I never had those moments. Those are the Michael Bay moments that turn me off to his movies.
See,
completely.
if I was sitting next to you, I could actually pinpoint. Like right now that I'm out of the movie, can't really remember. But if I was sitting next to you, I could stop the movie and say, Michael Bay moment.
I mean, I'm going to say there are jokes that are Michael Bay moments that don't work, but they tend to be ones that go by so fast and they're kind of in the background that I was like, whatever. I mean, this movie on the whole moves really fast. It does outstay its welcome. And that's a Michael Bay
If I had any complaint about it, it's a little too long.
Yeah, it's like, man, there's so much you could have cut out. I mean, I can't think of any one thing I'd say, yes, that should be the thing to go, because it's pretty entertaining throughout. But nonetheless, there's a point you're like, all right, guys, it is time to wrap this up.
Okay, well, I'll give you an example here. Rebel Wilson. And if you don't know Rebel Wilson, I hate to be this way, but the fat chick from Bridesmaids.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a point where her character
It's you know what? That's what she does in every movie.
Anthony Mackie goes to see her, and she does this whole thing of, oh, I love black men, and you give me the vapors, and oh, you're talking about your penis, and it's very. And
I'll give you that.
And there's also a scene where she's in court and she's doing things where the judge would actually slam the hammer and say, you can't do that here. And this is Michael Bay's world.
Well, but it almost seems like when you hire Rebel Wilson for something, she's going to do that because she does that in every movie.
But see, there are points where, okay, I'm looking at this and this story is great. These characters are really pulling me in. And then there's a moment where, no doubt, this is Michael Bay's world here. And in Michael Bay's world, you're right. There's always the hot girls. There's always certain things that Michael Bay does in the cinematography. There's always a hole in the wall somewhere where Michael Bay feels like he has to go through that hole to bring you into the next shot. I mean, he's in places where nobody fired a gun and there's a bullet hole there that he has to take you through to show these characters.
All right,
you don't remember that scene?
No, I do, but it just, I mean, it seems you're overthinking it a little bit there.
I don't think I'm overthinking it because it didn't ruin the movie for me. But like I said, it's just something that I said that, I look at this and I'm saying it's too bad you can't pull yourself away from that because this could have been a great movie had they left those things out of it. To me, it's just a fun movie.
I think the cartoon absurdism, though, of that stuff is partially why it did work for me. If you had gotten too, let's stick this to the real world here, I would have thought it would have gotten kind of boring, actually.
It would have gotten boring, and those guys wouldn't have been fun to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been like, wow, these are a bunch of douchebags that I hate, and can we just get it over with?
It's that way of thinking for you, too, why you should never commit a crime.
Or make a movie about it.
We would be fun-loving criminals.
You'd be in fucking death row is what you'd be.
Well, that too.
And more than anything, it made me think, hey, Michael Bay went and saw the first Crank and went, oh, I could do that, and wanted to make his own. Because it has that same weird feeling of like, you're never supposed to believe this is real at all, and it's wildly exaggerated. No one is nice, and there's exploitative elements to the point where you're just laughing at them rather than taking them seriously on any level, as well as the constant use of multiple different types of cameras, of throwaway cameras, different types of film grain. A lot of those elements in the original Crank are here as well.
Well, I will say it's the strength lies in the script. It's a great crime story. It is an absurd, great crime story, and it's the script that really carries it through. And there are certain things that occur in this movie that I would actually criticize Michael Bay for, that here they work. And maybe it's not even that I should even criticize Michael Bay. One of the things that bothered me at first that actually grew on me once I understood what they were doing is that there's a lot of narration in this movie.
Yeah. Because there's so many characters.
But there's all the major characters in here, they narrate. And at first I was thinking, what the hell are you? What are you wrong with
That's
you?
a giant cockroach.
That's the biggest cockroach I have ever seen.
Oh, God, climbing the wall. Sorry.
Oh, that's Larry. Leave me alone. Hey, Larry, how you doing, man?
Hey, he must be flush on his rent now he's coming out.
Oh, no, he's on his way to take a shower. Leave him alone. He'll be all right. But anyway.
Would Larry like to review?
Well, I don't like to say that.
I like that movie very much, man.
As part of the Sun Jim Green. No, man. Listen, I think that there's some of the things they did in the movie. Like I said early on, the narration I thought was a big deal, but now when the movie went on later, I thought, okay, it actually fits. I see where everybody has a story to tell here, and everybody's backstory being told through narration fits in this.
And it's part of the goofiness as well. Like, the film is so aware that you're hyper aware of how it takes you out of the reality the way it keeps doing that, the people narrating their own stories. Most films with a narrator have one narrator, right? This, like, even minor characters at points get their chance to go, oh yeah, this is my thing. Okay. So it made me laugh every time they switched to that. Even, Tony Shalhoub gets his moments with that. You're like, this is so bizarre. It kind of works.
Well, they're all kind of like, besides being idiots, they're kind of narcissistic. Most of them are hopped up on roids. It made sense. I mean, but it was the kind of thing that at first I was like, oh, come on, I'm enjoying this. You're going to ruin it.
Damn,
but
Leon,
the longer it went on, I can't stop looking at that
You look
cockroach.
at that roach like he's hopped up on roids.
It's a huge roach, man.
That roach is not going to come up here and rape you, Leon. All right? It's okay.
You say that now.
It's all right. It's all right. Leon's pulling out his wallet right now, ready to give to this roach. Hey, man, here you go.
It's the Tony Montana of roaches you got over here.
It's like the Lou Ferrigno roaches over here. He's coming over sitting down by Leon right now. Hiya.
You gonna eat that?
But listen, I know you guys think I might be nitpicking. I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. God damn it, I'm not. Because
let's see how far we can get him go. A little bit.
Jesus, see, this is where you go.
Now you about to turn to Mark Wahlberg. What? You say I'm nitpicking? Who's nitpicking?
Pectorals. What'd you say about pectorals?
And that's the thing about Mark Wahlberg in the movie. Mark Wahlberg, that's another guy that we talk about. Mark Wahlberg goes between, I think, being somebody that you think you like at first until you begin to see how crazy this guy is. I mean, when this guy flips out, anytime he feels like his dedication to his goals has been insulted, anytime he feels like his intelligence has been insulted, I don't care what you say. None of these characters, you laugh at them, you get good entertainment out of them,
but you don't like them.
But none of them are likable. And Mark Wahlberg is the guy that you despise the most.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy this movie. I really did. I don't think that it's anything that I would say goes beyond a matinee. Like I said, this is such an insane story that this is suited to Michael Bay's directing style. I mean, it's funny because it's Michael Bay. It seems like it's both Michael Bay and somebody like Tony Scott being restrained.
Yes, I did think about Tony Scott and like the little like tricks he likes to pull, but it's like, well, if Tony Scott was still alive, I'd say first thing I would say like, hey man, come down off that bridge. But then I'd say, watch this movie and see this is how you do this. You don't just put it out there all the time for no reason.
Yeah,
it has places. This is how you do it.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I guess I like this much better than you did, especially to be a Michael Bay film. I'm seeing at midnight to where I was like, all right, I want this to be good, but who knows? And I was like, wow, I'm genuinely laughing all the way through it. My only complaint about it is that it's just too long. And like at an hour and 45 minutes, I think it could have been perfect. But it goes a little bit over 2 hours, and it's just one of those where, well, sorry, it's like you said, it's just kind of, it stays longer than it's welcome. It's like, all right, guys, I'm having fun, but I kind of want you to wrap it up. Because there's points where it seems like it's coming to an end. And it's like, no, we still got more. But I still appreciate it. For me, it's a low full price.
And wasn't Ed Harris really great in this?
Yes, he was. And he comes in so late, you don't even expect him. But he was sort of like that breath of, sobriety that the film needed.
And Ed Harris actually raised the movie up a notch for me, too, when he came in. It was almost... he was the guy that came in and brought the movie up to a little more of it's a comedy, no doubt, but he brought the movie up to a little bit more of a serious.
Well, he brought it to the to that level of like, hey, I know we've been laughing, but this is a serious crime. Anything that made you go like, oh yeah, this is not a laughing matter.
Yeah, because when you watch the trailers, you think that this is a movie just about nobody's gonna get hurt. It's like whatever. The guy gets beat up a little bit, Tony Shalhoub, so you'd probably punch him if you saw him.
Men in Black, he got his head blown off.
Yeah,
so
exactly. What's the big deal? But it gets a lot darker and more fucked up than that, to be sure. These are guys who deserve everything they have coming to them, and maybe it did need that little bit of sanity with Ed Harris. I thought the biggest problem is when he comes in is that point when you're almost ready to go, okay, guys, seriously, it's time to pull the stops out and finish up this story. And it does belabor the point at times in this film. You're right. The story with Rebel Wilson, there's more of her in this film than this film needs. It's not that she's bad. It's just, do we really care that much?
And why'd they have to get the black guy, the fat white chick? I mean, because The Rock and Mark Wahlberg got fine chicks,
but you got to admit, like back in the 90s, that was kind of a stereotype that was prevalent.
Yeah, and in fact, there's even a line before that where he's talking to him, saying, "Yeah, I know you tend to like the big girls." So it's not like out of nowhere. It's like some dudes do. They dig the extra meat.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Back in the 90s, I had about 2 or 3 fat white chicks.
It's like riding.
Yes, 2 or 3.
It's like riding a moped. It's fun till your friends see you. But yeah, I don't know. I think more of this works than didn't. I mean, even like I said, the Michael Bay-ishness of it all almost seemed like he was satirizing himself, really. I mean, it was just so damn absurd. He was making fun of his own shallow premises that are usually taken seriously in other films, and here it's kind of like, man, can you believe these people? So, Bay, did you just stop doing coke or something? Is this part one of your 12-step program? But I don't know. I actually had a lot of fun with this. God, I wish it could have been about 30 minutes shorter. I'm going to actually give it a low full price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have saw it with us.
Yeah, we were laughing harder than anybody in the theater, though. To be fair,
What, so I could get fucking angry at you guys for laughing at something? Like we do this all the time. I go see a movie with y'all just laughing, and you, like it's the funniest thing in the world, and you do nothing but piss me off. If anything, I would like the movie less because I was with you there.
We like to have a good time.
He's still mad at a haunted house.
Grouchy.
Hey, Larry, what you think of the movie? I think I like Leon. Leon, what you doing tonight?
Man, he's over there doing squats.
By the way, people, I don't live in the ghetto, okay? Like Leon's trying to make it sound.
Corey does not live in the ghetto. Behind a liquor store, yes, but not in the ghetto per se.
That's why that roach is walking through the room with a brown bag right now.
You got some change. Y'all keep it down out here.
Hey, little buddy, you hungry?
What the hell are you doing on the ground? That hurts. Well, it's supposed to hurt. It's called pain and gain, Rusty. Don't be a little bitch.
Don't eyeball me, boy. I see your mother driving up and down the street looking at me. I'll be your stepfather by the weekend.